Trust me, buddy. Make sure you get Twitch chat open to watch how ridiculous this gets.
All right.
That being said, we're in game number 2. It's the best of 3 for the WCS America and Canada qualifiers. We're getting really close. The winner of this goes on to fight Intense, and that won't quite be the qualifying round, but the following match will be. Now, Xenocider is able to cast with us today, guys, because he doesn't have to worry about the stress of qualifying. He managed to make it in the first qualifier, so, you know, congrats again on that.
Thank you, thank you.
But looking for his qualifier in the top right corner of the map, it's the purple Terran player leading the series, QXC.
You want to take a shot, Xenocider?
Yeah, let's hear your best caster intro. Hype this shit up, man. Or this stuff up.
Yeah.
And in the bottom left, the foreign hope. One of the greatest players of our generation, Avilo!
Just gonna make it clear he's not part of your generation.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like an older guy. He's like a European generation. You're like 12 years old, bro.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. Just popped out of the room yesterday. Hopped on the computer.
Oh, it's that Asian roots, dude. You're still gonna StarCraft. Okay, stopping right there because this is gonna get out of hand and get me in trouble way before we get any thing out of it. We did have a pretty interesting, I guess, comment out of Avilo coming to the thing, and then suddenly the map comment makes a little more sense, where he was not loving how difficult it was gonna be to take a third on that map. So maybe he had a two-base play in mind. Maybe it was forced to be that situation. It was just like a salty, result. Either way, the thing I like about Cactus Valley is you do have a kind of easy to take third or an easy to take fourth. Spawn location's obviously going to affect this, but we did manage to luck out to get cross spawn for these two players.
Is it really that easy for a mech player to get a third or fourth in this map?
I would think so. I mean,
Xenocider.
Yeah, Xenocider. Let's get your expertise.
I think Zombie Grub is kind of right. It's quite difficult to defend the third base just because there's this kind of long walk path to go from your natural to your third, and then the Terran player can pressure the third and then load up and then just go straight into the main. You know, assuming that they take the nested in third base that forms like a triangle. So, but that being said, if the Terran player can get the 3 base set up, then I feel like the 4th base is easier to take on this map than it is on most maps.
So
what would the
call it 50-50.
Sure, okay. But were the map vetoes like? It's like veto down to 3 or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's veto down to 3.
All right. So I mean, if that is the case, then isn't it interesting that Avilo would take maps that just don't seem to very well accommodate a third as a mech player? Like, I guess there's no dead wing of the new map pool, but are there better ones?
See, you think that, but Avilo's not going to take a third base this game until like 13 minutes anyways. So by then he'll already be at like 150 supply. Oh my god. Wait, no, never mind. I forgot. We're casting Avilo.
Wait.
This guy doesn't give a damn.
What?
Right?
Okay, so 3CC is weird enough on its own. The fact that he's doing this down here makes me really wonder what's up. Like, is he just going to float it down here in hopes... Like, why not just build on location?
There is a 0.5% chance that the medevac doesn't go down that pathway, but the very, very right, and barely doesn't see that. I have no idea.
Okay, so 2 things real quick. First off, Xenocider, did you see our Twitch chat, by the way? Do you see it's still going on? It's never going to stop. Man. This map ruins things.
Oh, this is great.
But the other thing for this, and then this sounds so dumb, like I'm looking, immediately, as soon as I saw this on location here, I went back to look for an engineering bay, because I'm like, is Avilo crazy enough to do like a planetary fortress or something ridiculous? Like, this is such a weird thing. This makes no sense.
Planetary rush.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. You follow up nonsense with even less sense.
Oh yeah, this would be so great if this game ended up on Win Cheese Fails, and you know, it's just like all the other videos before this is just bronze versus bronze, and then all of a sudden you see Avilo.
It's like a WCS qualifier match too, no less. It's like a prestigious event. But okay, this does finish up, and what is he doing with this? Like, what if this was like the sickest fat finger of all time, and he thought this was a proxy starport? Like, I can't. I just
I'm gonna
can't.
2-starport Banshee this guy. Oh wait.
I just can't. I don't know what he's doing with this. It's still not a.
He's gonna lift
But why not make it an orbital?
Okay, no. Here's no. I found it. I figured it out. Right. He was afraid that the SCV would still be scouting the bases. Legit, I think that's the reason, is that he still think that they would be scouting, like if they scouted totally incorrectly at first, it'd still be going around. And thus, having it not in the corner base, it wouldn't be scouted from that SCV.
Yeah, it did start before the Reaper came into his own natural, so maybe that...
I got you, Avilo. I got you, bro.
But I feel like you could still build it in like the corner of the base, you know what I mean? In the top right.
Look, Xenocider, will you just shush? Are you playing right now, or is Avilo playing right now?
I'm just a backseat player, man. My bad. I'm sorry, Avilo. I question your greatness.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to make it look like we're making fun of Avilo, guys. We're trying to assess just like the incredibly weird situation in front of us, though. Gonna turn into orbital. And here's the thing about secret bases in StarCraft 2. And all the time we get people asking, like, why didn't the Protoss take a secret base on Inferno Pools or things like this? And the reality of it is, if you get away with a secret base, first off, it takes a long time for this to actually pay for itself, much less get you ahead. Secondly, because you've invested in so much here, it takes away from your army value, it takes away from what you have at home, it takes away from your possible upgrades and investments. It's really hard to actually get away with it, but if he does, he'll get away with it really well.
I feel like, as a Terran player, you shouldn't do harass versus Avilo, because Avilo kind of blind counters harass anyways. He always builds turrets, no matter what, so you could just straight up go 3cc on site without scouting, and I feel like you would be safe against what he's doing.
That's not a bad assessment either. I mean, it is that paranoia of Avilo saying, you know what, there's going to be Banshees. And it is funny to just call it like, okay, he'll just blind counter you, because that is exactly what's happened here with the opening. QXC sending another Banshee over, and I'm only taking a bit of a laugh at this, because it was just recently we saw him in Legacy of the Void. QXC threw away 6 Banshees into Miso's turrets. God knows why. Oh, I'm just kind of worried that happens here.
But this is just, compounding on that idea Xenostar talked about the last game, where, like, that 10 seconds of just getting that SCV sent out would really cost a game. Like, that is Avilo's, like, reason, well, among others, I guess. But one of the reasons that he's just not actually a top-tier competitor, he's not actually going to get into the round of 16 at WCS, is that he is sometimes unnecessarily defensive and just loses out in the macro game to a professional player. Like, sure, not against, like, GMs that'll meet, like, Joe Schmo on the ladder, but professionals that have done a lot of tournaments, then yeah, just gonna lose out. I mean, QXC is still finding damage, even though supposedly Avilo's like, trying to hard counter this. He found something to do with the Banshees.
Look at this, though. I still love it. Like, he still goes for the CC in base. There's no reason Avilo needed to build this CC, but it just helps sell the story a little bit to QXC here. Why is dancing still going on? We're like 10 minutes in the game. I hate Twitch. You guys.
I actually think this position favors Avilo quite a bit. Most likely QXC is going to think that Avilo doesn't have a third base, and he's going to have one, although it's not really completely mining.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Why is Avilo even muling his main, though? I feel like every mule should go down here.
In case QXC scans, sees no mules, and says, what the heck?
Scans both bases just to make sure that there's no mules.
Exactly.
Blind counters the third hidden CC.
I don't know, but
well, we do have mech, we got production, we got lots of factories coming down, but the problem is here comes QXC's push. And this isn't a small amount of units coming across the map. This is actually kind of dangerous for Avilo because he doesn't exactly have a wall of Hellbats out yet. He's only got a couple of tanks. And if this was a small poke, it's a couple of tanks and Marines like last game, sure, he holds against this, but it's still at a time where his production's only just starting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Is Unicider is right. Like it could still very much so favor Avilo if the third base still gets unscouted, but there's this big time where he just doesn't have the units to
this one's
to feel comfortable. Like he's on 3 bases technically, but he's in the uncomfortable position where he's getting a little not contained, but it's just a little pressured right here.
Why
brings Marines with him to take that shot.
Like, oh, shiny! What is this?
Follow the tank.
Alright, so QXC having some derby Marines. Avila's still trying to hold up in the natural, and I think he knows it as well. That is, like, once his production kicks in here, he's actually be looking just dandy. He's floating some money, maybe gets a 4th CC, maybe he's saving this to make a planetary, but either way, he has gotten away with this hidden base.
The army supply just doesn't seem like where it should be even. It's like 70 supply difference in that army. Like, geez.
That's kind of insane, but I guess there is still the strength of tanks. I don't know. Avilo's sake, I want this to go well for him, but it is that numbers game. It's so hard to look at 99 supply to 27 and be like, yeah, Avilo's got this. I mean, there's even Marauders in here with Stim.
The thing about Terran pushes, though, especially at this stage of the game, is that it's almost completely defined by what air you have with it. So, for instance, if you're playing Bio and you have 6 medevacs, you can threaten a drop, making the mech player split his army. But if Avilo sees that he only has 2 medevacs, he knows that he can put all of his tanks at his natural, and a frontal attack, even when you're ahead by that much army supply, is really hard through a choke point.
Okay, so tanks. Losing the racks, that kind of sucks, but he's got 3 starports coming behind this? Like, does he even have the time to get anything out of these? He can't make the orbital anymore either. 4 starports! Pardon me! 4 starports coming out behind this!
And another trick here is that against most players, you would be like, why doesn't he have a third base yet? That's really weird. Let me just go scout for hidden expansions. But against Avilo, this is a perfectly normal expansion timing. It doesn't even seem that odd, in my opinion, that Avilo has not taken a third base yet, if I were playing from QXC's position.
I agree, but here's what's really funny. This one Marine, it's actually rallied all the way around the map. The other Marine isn't. So had Avilo taken the hidden base in the top left, it would have been scouted. But I think there we go. Now QXC's starting to run around with all the Marines, and I don't know if any are rallied down there just yet. But man, Avilo's already gotten so much out of this base, so much gas, so much money. I mean, he's floating minerals right now. Secret missiles coming down top of tanks. QXC does manage to save one. Still Marines take the shots to the face. And he's like, it's almost like faking. It's like feigning a CC floating out here. If Avilo gets to Ravens with Corvid Reactor, I actually think with between auto turrets and secret missiles, he could take on this army. He's got a lot of Hellbats behind this, or potential Hellbats, I should say. Lots of tanks, but there's that Doom drop. And will the sensor... Oh, no way.
Oh, God.
No way! What the hell? What the hell is this? Xenocider! Analysis of the missile turrets.
And you have to remember, though, that for the Terran player, the most important thing when you're going mech is securing the third base. The fourth base isn't really that important until like 20 or 30 minutes in the game. So Avilo having this third base is allowing him to get the Ravens and the tanks that he normally have. Oh god.
Okay, well he does get some units out, but there's no Marines, so actually the Banshee alone could clean this up. As funny as that is. We got the pressure from the tanks, finding a great spot here north of the geysers, but taking out depots, picking off the bunker, this isn't really that big of a necessity. It does supply block Avilo a little bit, sure, but okay, rather than repairing the turret, he's just gonna build 2 more.
Yeah, you know.
QXC, by the way, has scouted every base except the bottom right. He's actually he's queued up a command center to build down there. He's gonna find out about this in the stupidest way.
Wow.
And here's what's kind of crazy though.
The problem here is that Avilo has already gotten so much out of this bottom right base that he'll have an army that can secure his third base normally.
Yeah, do you guys remember when there was a 90 supply deficit? Not anymore. But QXC, you know, here's the thing though. He is taking all these bases, and while this looks kind of funny, we want to laugh at it. It is something where maybe his economy will carry him through whatever Avilo decides to throw at him. Because I mean, Ravens are limited by energy. Hellions are okay, they're okay. But there's already so many Marauders, they're not going to be the abusive Hellions and Hellbats that we're used to seeing. This sounds so crazy, but I think Avilo's actually not in a terrible spot.
No, he has gotten to where he wants to be. He is going to force QXC to either try and repeatedly throw his army, his bio army, into the mech air army, or go for his own mech air. And Avilo is good at that point, you know? And I do wonder what QXC is going to think now that he realizes I can't break the third base, and I found out that you have a secret fourth. Or a secret third, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but anyways, it did stop the other base from taking, I guess, what was supposed to be the natural on this side of the map.
He could just make this planetary and hold.
Quick! Repair it! Planetary.
Okay, well that goes down in the bottom right. We do have the army swooping in here for the actual third, or real third, air quotes. It's becoming a planetary, which will be good against bio, but oh, the shots are good, and QXC just going to lose units for free here.
That was weird.
Oh, looks like Avilo wanted to take the base QXC took. This is kind of awkward for many different reasons, but point defense drones helping nullify the Marauder damage. It's worth noting the point defense drone live is change is live, but somewhat irrelevant in this instance as they did their job. They soaked the hits, ran out of energy.
I guess the army was supposed to distract for the this army to get a drop in, but there's still one of the missile turrets over there, and the army didn't just distract it, distracted QXC from saving it. So his supply does dip quite heavily, and you know, remaxing on bio units is supposed to be easier than mech, yeah, sure, and his economy's looking good on 4 or 5 bases, sure, but you're not just supposed to give it away. Like you're supposed to take something with it, and you got like a couple of Hellions.
Yo, it's funny.
And here's the thing about playing against Avilo is that normal bio versus mech tactics just don't work. You cannot drop Avilo. He has more turrets than you have Marines.
It's so stupid, but it's true.
No way medevacs are going through.
Yo, it's funny though, because I look at this, right? And okay, oh, here comes the push. It's got Ravens, it's got Banshees, it's got Siege Tanks. This is Cactus Valley. I just love games on this map, but what's crazy about it is like the fact that Avilo, he could still throw this one really bad engagement, right? Like as powerful as this is, and we're kind of giving him a lot of hype, he's not exactly got secure bases back at him. He did take a lot of damage in that natural. His SCV count is not exactly super duper high, but he's got some power. We'll see if he can follow through with it.
This is the absolute dream army for mech, because Marauders are supposed to be the bio counter against tanks, but once you have 7 or 8 Ravens, you're going to have constant PDDs. And then you have the Banshees to pick off the tanks, so you are able to constantly push forward.
This is so
As long as Avilo doesn't literally move command his army into QXCs, he should take this game.
Oh, CC flooding for base trade, just in case he's...
I was about to ask, actually, what do you think of a base trade for QXC here?
Well, you can't really do it though, right? Because of what Xenosaur just stated. There's so many turrets. How do you doom drop? How do you get across the map?
You literally walk in the base. There's nothing there.
You can't do it anymore. Villa's right on your doorstep. Now it looks like QXC's setting up a flank, possibly going to try and sandwich him in here, but I don't know, man. How many point defense turrets? We got about, I'd say about 6 gauging off the Raven energy at a quick glance. 6 or 7.
Sandwich. Oh, I think I can get 2 of these outlying bases. I mean, the planetaries, but...
oh, picking up some of the reinforcements, nice.
Oh, you know what? I guess QXC's upgrades were never really all that good, were they?
No, he took all the bases.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is he gonna make a planetary to protect his flank? This is brilliant.
This is so sick. That's actually brilliant. This isn't even a troll. Like, that's actually a great move. I can't believe what we're watching. Yo, Xenosaur, you said it. I remember we talked when you were playing versus Pult. There's like only 1 or 2 ways to play TVT, right? And like, this is not one of those 2 things.
Saves the Thor and loses all.
I mean, the Thor is kind of critical. The range is going to help zone out the Ravens from diving forward, the Vikings from diving in, for the Banshees from attacking. I mean,
yeah. You can also just move the Bio and the Thor.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I'll give him props in saving the Thor. But this planetary looks like it's not going to live. Point defense is not coming down. God, that would have been so sick, though. That would have been so sick.
We had a little bit of a drop, I guess, try and find the 4th base, but it's not big enough. And in fact, without Medivacs, I don't think this back army is big enough either to take down these planetaries that Avilo has.
Both players, the planetaries all over the place. You can't exactly Hellion run by these mineral lines. You can't run behind them. Actually, yo, this is a sick Zerg map, I'm just saying.
QXC, just pick everything up and move it somewhere else.
I mean, Avilo, he's held at home. He stopped the attack. The planetary and the tanks are here. He's in this really awkward spot with the army, though. There's no getting away from this position safely. There's also no getting to this position safely. Like, 3 or 4 Ravens have died to this little cluster of units in the middle of the map.
He's bringing a couple medevacs with that army. I still think he wants to...
Dude, Xeno, what happens here, man? Guide us.
I have to apologize, guys. I know a lot about StarCraft, but I don't even think I could call this StarCraft at this point. Avilo is completely unpredictable. He can do anything at any time. It is.
You know what? The thing is, that's what makes him such a dangerous player. But almost getting caught on siege. Point defense throw is not to be found. Auto-turn is going to soak some of the hits. Is this going to be enough, though? Blue Flame helmets have gone at this point. It looks like Avilo is going to get broken. But you know what? He keeps the air army alive. He trades out so much that QXC doesn't even have that much of a counterattack.
Well, as long as he can find these tanks in the middle of the map, I still think he can get it. I mean, it's the only place where you can get a concave. His planetary does fall. It sucks, but I think he has business starts covering the rest of the bases. Because
they're both on 4 bases now, too. This is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I really didn't expect QXC to break out. I thought there was going to be some other answer here, but he does, and I think it's back to kind of even. Avilo has a healthier 3rd and 4th, though. That's always the case.
Losing those Banshees for free was kind of unfortunate.
Yes, it was.
And I just want to say, the only reason why Avilo lost that engagement is because he opted to use the auto turrets instead of the PDDs.
Yeah.
And that makes such a big difference when you have Marauders that can't shoot against the tanks.
As opposed
to having auto turrets that don't do that much damage.
I think he thought there was way more Marines. But there we go, there's the point defense turret's coming into effect right now. Oh my god, the corpse went flying! Yeah, QXC, he just doesn't have that big of an army supply right now. This is kind of crazy. He doesn't have a lot of money to work with either because of, he's mined out at the National, he's mined out at the main. I guess he's got some SCV starting to mine here at that other planetary, but he lost the additional base.
Yeah. His 3rd and 4th are just, it's just going to be so light because he never got a secret base. He can lift his main and natural since they're just not mining at all right now and take other bases and hope Avilo doesn't get any run-bys.
Well, this is actually a great tank here. This will deny both bases for a little bit. Now, trying to get some attacks up here. Looks like that point. Secret missiles actually go off. But kind of going back on what Xenosider said there, I mean, to explain for folks why he did auto turrets and why I was making the comment about Marines is auto turrets, they force you to attack if you just auto attack. They're really high aggro. AI in this game is pretty dumb, generally speaking. So it made a lot of sense if there was less Marauders and more Marines. But it was the point defense turrets that would have just stopped the Marauders entirely. 100% damage nullification is sick.
And I feel like something really deceiving here is that it's relatively even supply, but per unit, Avilo's units are way more efficient than QXC's army, or QXC's units. Each Raven should be able to trade for effectively 2 supplies, so Avilo's got quite an army lead here in effectiveness.
I mean, the thing is, too, the Ravens, it's not like there's 1 or 2 of them. They haven't been bleeding out. There's 16 freaking Ravens. Now, right now is a very vulnerable time because they all have not a lot of energy. But give him 30 seconds, give him 50 seconds. Avilo's going to have all the point defense drones in the world and the auto turrets and the seeker missiles.
If QXC can stop Avilo from getting further bases, this game could go back to just like the yield like economic favor, but...
I mean, it's not exactly that case. It's the same sort of case for Avilo, too. Like, QXC is equally struggling for money here.
Well, you know, yeah, that is true. Like I said, like he could have taken other bases with these command centers as main and natural and just hope that the run-bys didn't happen, and so far they haven't. In fact, Hellion production kind of just stopped completely for Avilo.
So actually, you know, here's something we didn't really point out. Typically, Terran, you know, you're going for bio upgrades as well as that +1, +2 on vehicle. Because QXC neglected this and didn't go too tank heavy this game. His air transition is actually going to be really difficult. Really difficult. Avilo's going to have 3-3 through the air. QXC's going to have 0-0. Vikings are not going to stand a chance.
Yeah, that is a big problem. And he doesn't have the big economy boost that you should have against a mech turtle. It is looking that Avilo, I mean, will win this game, but there's always a chance that like a base shed goes down, like Avilo brings all of his army, you know, foolishly and does lose out on his bases, and they get an awkward game. It's already an awkward game, I guess.
Yeah, something we didn't point out is that in order for QXC to hold the attack that was at his natural, he had to pull all of the SCVs in his main and natural, and that cost him about 30 or so SCVs, which if he had those 30 SCVs right now, he could afford to take pretty much the entire map and transition into air. Whereas right now, he's struggling to find money to transition into air, which is what he's going to need in order to defeat Avilo's army.
Well, trying to get these pushes in, more turrets coming up. I mean, you weren't kidding earlier when you say Avilo's a guy who goes a lot of turrets, even around the planetary. Now, I guess... My thoughts are maybe there's a chance of miscontrol. Here's the downside for Avilo, right? You got 21 Ravens strong, you got this impregnable army, but if they stack up once and take a Thor shot wrong, if they stack up and eat Seeker missiles from QXC, there's a lot of ways this could go badly if Avilo's even just slightly slow on splitting. This is an insane situation to be in, but as strong as Avilo's army is, it is equally fragile.
Well... this all goes back, though, to Avilo. This is his comfort spot, you know, where Maro might be comfortable splitting Marines. Avilo is comfortable taking those late-game Raven engagements, whether it's splitting or just whatever magic he works with them. Like I said, he's beaten, like, really, really good Korean pros by getting to this style, eventually.
Planetary Fortress, point defense drones, the Marines barely scratch the surface, and QXC has got to just be scratching his head. How do I break these bases? How do I stop Avilo?
And here's the thing, like I said before, QXC has 27 Marauders in his army. You can basically count that as negative 54 supply. Against 24 Ravens, Marauders literally do not do anything. So,
well, you know, they soak some of the energy from the point defense drone there, Tina said. Just say it.
You're right.
Now, this is like a slow push, but it's like a slow push that's been a long time coming because Avilo's had to stack up these Ravens and wait for the energy. He could have tried to push with these bases and denying earlier on, but had he done that, the Ravens might have actually gotten caught off guard because there was no energy. But these are all pretty much full, or half, or just a million things available.
I don't know what to actually say about this one. He should just go Mass Marine, alright? There's not that many Blue Flame, okay?
I really think QXC's only hope here is to get some Kamikaze Seekers and hope Avilo screws up. It just feels like it is so far gone that that's the case. But Marauders coming in, those point defense drones are down, and the damage is getting nullified. Seeker missile!
Oh!
Cute move out of QXC, nicely done. Doesn't get too much for it, but still denying the base. QXC's now on one mining base, and it's almost out of money. The SCV's transferred over here. There's that tank from earlier still camping that mineral line. Slaughters 12 workers. Dude,
this is the thing about energy units in StarCraft 2. Once they come out, they're fragile, they're basically useless, but if you give them...
Auto turret's coming down to help buffer for this too, but there's those Ravens. Seeker missile's gonna fly on top of it. QXC. No! Oh, they're gonna hit! No, he gets away!
No!
He died! How?
He already lost his army!
Okay. Auto turrets are going to clean this up eventually. Seeker missiles trying to splash on nothing because the unit died. That Thor is alive forever, my friends. Thanks to those point defense drones. And I've never seen a battle like that in a TVT.
He had one Raven that had a Seeker missile on it.
Oh!
If he had just put that forward.
Oh! 2 snipes! Seeker's going on top of the Thor. 4 of them going down, picks up on the medevac, but oh, almost catches the medevacs.
This is so it. He's down by 100 supply.
That's it, yeah. I think Avilo's done it.
Oh my God.
Here's the question, though. What's map 3 gonna be, guys?
I can't believe he's like a 70 supply deficit, and he just turtled himself
GG.
in there.
Oh my
G
god.
freaking G! What is life? What is this game?
How about a quadcast, boys?
Yeah, Nathanius was asking to get in